Hi, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, the honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, peace and salutations to the Akim, to the elect that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, pushing in truth and faith and sincerity. Shalom on the brother Shema Allah from the GMS Houston camp. And this lesson is going to be about this truth has to come before everything, right? Everything and all things that we're doing in this world. Because things that we do in this world is not going to lead us unto salvation, right? That's just things of this life, right? That's going to perish when America perishes. So, see, it makes no sense to be too wrapped up into these things. See, but we all handle our business here. We all got things that we got to do. We all got jobs, right? We all have family. You know, we all got that, right? But it becomes a problem when those things get in the way, right? And keep you from doing your duty and keep you from doing your number one job, right? Which is to be a prophet, which is to teach the children of Israel as the Most High commanded to Ezekiel, right? In Ezekiel the 3rd chapter, and as the Most High said of Jeremiah to be the prophet, right? But that applies to us all. And that's what we were set up for. Right, and we're supposed to let nothing come in the way of that. So this is Luke 14:16. And then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade many. Right, which is supper is being this truth. Right, and the man, Yahushua, because we read in Matthew 22nd chapter, it talks about this supper, right? This wedding feast, which is referring to the truth. It says, and his servant at supper time, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidding, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make an excuse. It says, the first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me excused, right? So he bought some land for himself. And from what I can remember, a guy actually said this before. Right, in one of the Israelite camps, he used to bring it. I don't know, he probably still bring it out, do what he do. Right, but he used to come out with the down Gucci scarf and the shades, right? Whatever type of scarf it was, you see. But yeah, he actually said that. Right, you got people that are buying things, you see, and they are well invested into this world. You should say it like that, right? Or they got their emotions well invested into the things that they're buying. See, so their minds are wrapped on these material things. You see, and it says, and another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. So we use the oxen to plow the land. You can use the oxen to carry loads or, whatever, right? For work, for your own personal duty, your own personal thing that you got going on, you can use them for, right? But they're used to mainly just used for to work, right? So he was worried about working. You see, putting them oxen to use, right? But hey, this is the main work. You see, he put that little job, right? I mean, not saying that it's little, but compared to the truth, it is. I mean, because obviously doing that, you providing for yourself, you see. But he put it over Yahushua. He put it over this truth. It says, and another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So he said, look, man, I got this little fine young woman, hey, man, I got to put some time into her. I ain't gonna be able to come, so hey. This woman that he was with, right? To him, she was bad as hell, and he put her before the truth. And a woman could do that to you, right? If you ain't being careful, you ain't in the spirit, right? A woman could draw you away from this truth. You see, so all of these men began to make an excuse of why they couldn't come to the supper, to this truth. Right, and labor and prophesy, right? Because this world meant a lot to him. You see? And I believe it's in the Apocrypha. It says that he that has little business shall become wise. Because you ain't got too much going on in this world, and you're able to give your time to Yahushua, right? To Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? To push this word out. You see, like you working 5 or 6 jobs, you doing this, you doing that. You ain't got no time to grow, right? To do anything, right? It says, so that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets, to the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. That's why we go out in the streets, right? To preach the word unto the whole nation of Israel, but to graft in the elect. To graft in the elect. This is what we worried about. He ain't worried about the whole nation, but he said the poor, the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. Now, something was wrong with all of these individuals. You see, the poor, right? They don't have the resources or, of this life, or the resources to enjoy the things of this life, right? They basically just getting by. Right? So inviting them to the supper, like, hell yeah, shall I come eat? You see? Or the maimed and the halts and the blinds, blind person, right, needs somebody to take care of them, right, and the maimed, right, they need help. They can't really do things on their own. They need help. So all of these individuals needed something. They needed help, right? And before we came in, right, we all acknowledged, right, that we needed help, that we needed a savior, right? We needed Yahushua. See, or we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. You see, but hey, the ones who made excuse, they felt like they were good. They had what they needed. See, so you gotta, we gotta acknowledge that, hey, this world really ain't shit, right? To really be able to come into this thing, right, and endure unto the end. It says that, and the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou commanded, and yet there was room. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out to the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. So those men that made that excuse, right, they not going to be saved, basically. See, they're not going to be able to receive the benefits that the elect is going to receive, right, for believing in Yahushua, pushing his word out and doing that to the end, keeping that faith. You see, they not going to get the kingdom, right, on the first go-round, I should say. Right? They're going to have to perish and come back. Where he says, and there went great multitudes with him, and he turned to say unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brother and his sister, yet his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. All right, no one's going that hating is not talking about treating them like shit, right? Actually having hate for your family. See, no, that's not a wise thing to do, right? That ain't what the scripture teaches us to do. Hating basically going to not putting them over Yahushua, putting them before Yahushua. That's what it's talking about. You see, just can't let them, whatever going on, you just can't let them get in the way of you doing what you're supposed to do, right? But then it said your own life also, the things that you got going on, right, in this life. Things get too crucial to where it is getting in the way. Those are things that you got to cut off, right? Because would you rather keep those things, right, and enjoy this life and then end up just dying at the end, or cutting it off, right? And getting that salvation from Yahushua, being saved from all these things to receive something even greater, right? What you think the better option is, right? It says he cannot be my disciple, and the disciple basically goes into being disciplined. You can't follow him if you ain't on that, right? If you ain't got that type of mindset. It said, whosoever doeth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Bear your cross, dealing with the hell that comes with this truth, and enduring to the end. You gotta bear it. See, and that's a part of this. And if you, or if any of us, don't agree with that, we don't like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to handle that, right? And then, hey, that's just you. You can't come into this then. You can't follow Yahushua, because Yahushua suffered. We all gotta suffer. He was that example for us. See, he says, for which of you intended to build that tower, sit it not down first and count the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it. You see? So if you want to build something, right, you got to see if you got all the materials, if you got enough money, right, to be able to, carry this project or this building through. You see, and before you come into this truth, you got to see if you're going to be able to, deal with everything that Yahweh Shah going to bring your way. Right, all the hell, right, the persecution, right, and death if that's your lot. You see, before you just blindly just come in and then leave, now your judgment is going to be worse, all right, than the person that didn't come into this thing. You see? But it says, less happily, after he had laid the foundation, is not able to finish, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build, was not able to finish, right? Because us going out and teaching, we added them stones, right, to the third temple, right? It was the stones represent the elect. So we are building that house, and every man has his lot to build in this house. We all got a hand into building this temple. You see, so when you fall out, it's like, damn, bro. You like, see, you was here, you was prophesying, coming to camp every week, right? Yahweh Shem Brakatah, saying how much you love brothers, how much you love the Lord. Then you just end up just leaving, right? Hey, you gonna get talked about through the Spirit. You see, and you're gonna be an example of what not to follow. All right, and it says that right, and if you do lose your position, it ain't like the house is not gonna be built. No, the Most High is gonna replace you with another man that's willing to do that. All right, of the elect. See, I jump down in verse 33. It says, so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaken all that he had, he cannot be my disciple. And it's not talking about casting off your life, right? Everything you're doing, you quitting your job, right? You ain't taking care of your car no more. You ain't worried about it. You ain't worried about putting food in the house. That ain't what it's talking about. See, basically what it was saying, like, you can't put your life before the Lord, because of the Lord, we getting all of these things that, we laboring for. You see, because we go to work for money, right? Then we buy clothes and food and all these things. The Lord is the one that allows this to happen. He's the one that blesses us with everything. Right? Put us in certain positions. Right? All of these things come from the Lord, so it makes sense to put him first. Right? Thou shalt say, seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be added unto you. All right, so basically, putting the Lord first, he's going to take care of you. That's all it's saying, so just put him first. All right? And, that was the lesson. I was just edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.